If you've ever been in on it, or if it's ever been an overcast day while you're in the path of totality, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Boy, I butchered that one. First time in a long time. Anyway, happy Monday, folks. Welcome back. Happy Eclipse Day. Let's see what the market brings for us. We got a full day lined up. Let's do it. Don't have the video clip here.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
You've ever been in the path of totality on an overcast day. 13, I can't believe I butchered that. Can you save us here?
No, let's see if I can try. How's everybody doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Jonathan, Market Sniper, Smoke Tuna, Carmen, Jane, Rick, Beach Bum, Jonathan, let's go. Love the show, Ryan. Hey, look, purple is the color of royalty. I absolutely love purple. I got this shirt on sale on Amazon. Doing pretty good. Thanks, Rick. PK, good to see you. Okay, I guess we're going to call this the Eclipse shirt, PK. Okay, that works for me. It doesn't have a name, and now it does. All right, so it is Eclipse Day. For those of you that are going to be able to see it, good luck. Actually, here in Chicago, we had I don't want to say terrible, but inclement weather to where I could not golf this weekend, which of course is terrible. And then today it's going to be totally clear and sunny. So the positive there is that I should be able to sneak out for a little bit and see it at 92.67% from what I understand on the map. But for those of you that are going to be able to see this, go ahead and enjoy. 13, I understand it's overcast for you, so you're kind of in trouble with that?
It's overcast at the moment. You know, weather out here changes pretty fast, so we'll have to wait and see what happens by the time the event occurs. I think it's around 1 my time, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Okay, and we're going to bring Nick on. Nick is back here for Monday. Nick, how about you? You're going to have any eclipse viewing, or how's the weather for you? You're muted again, dude.
I do this every time. I actually have my glasses right here. Ready
now,
to go.
let me ask you a question. Look at that. Apparently, time out. I couldn't believe this when I heard it, but apparently those glasses are something that are often faked. So there's actually a number that you have to verify on the glasses to let you know that they are legitimate. I don't know where they are or what that number is, but heard about that this morning. Almost couldn't believe that that was true. So anyway, we'll go ahead and check that out. We do have the market. Now, here's the question that I've been waiting to ask both of you folks. Do you guys think the eclipse is going to have any effect on the trading action today?
You want to start, Nick? Because I do.
No, go ahead, because I'm pondering this question. I don't think it will. You know, it's Wall Street. We could have another earthquake, too, while we're in the midst of it.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I think that will probably happen is that as soon as it gets, the news happens that hey, it's about to, go down, you'll probably see a drop in trading because everybody's been looking out their windows. That's really about the only effect I could see of this happening is that people are going to take a break from trading briefly just to go and take a look at that. That's the extent of it to me.
Yeah,
the volume will be down for a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of think the same thing. There might be like a 15-minute to a 30-minute, maybe an hour-long pocket where volumes decline. I don't really think this is going to fly at all. It really have any effect. I know there are a lot of people who are superstitious about things like that, full moons, eclipses, all types of celestial arrangements, but I don't really think any of that is going to have an effect here today. Okay, let's actually dive into the market. Eclipses are fun, but let's talk about the market. Here we had the SPY really kind of trade up on Friday. Okay, we had a big spike intraday on Friday. We actually are trading up here in the pre-market today. To my eye, if I go to an inside or to an intraday chart here, to my eye, it sure looks like this level right here is going to get tested. 520 and change, whatever that exact number is. I think we probably test that here shortly out of the open. Would not be surprised if we made a move towards those all-time highs. Now, 13, what's funny about this to me is that we were talking about, oh yeah, pattern might be invalidated. It actually might be back here today. We will see how this ends up shaking out here, but we might have this back here today. What do you see for the SPY?
See this huge candle, and now we're trading inside of it. So we had an inside day on Friday. The thing that needs to happen if we're going to, continue to remain bullish and see more new highs, we'd have to break out of this inside candle, in my opinion, in the next couple of days. I think for today, we'll probably end up getting up to 521. That's one of the levels that I have. So 521 would be the upside target to break for me. But if we can't get above that, then 518.30 is the support level that has been working pretty well throughout all this price action that we've had over the past several trading days.
Yeah, that 521 would take us over the intraday high on Friday. We'd effectively be breaking out for that on SPY. So we'll see what we can do there. All right. Anything else on the broader market here? You want to dive into some individual names?
I'm ready for individuals.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. We're actually going to start with some individual names that are courtesy of Trade the Pool. If you don't know, Trade the Pool is a sponsor for this particular stream. If you need help getting a prop firm getting above that 25K day trading threshold, Trade the Pool, probably the spot for you. If you need some additional buying power, they can help you out with that too. Let's talk about some of the stocks that are in play here today. First one's going to be Mara. Now, what you'll notice here is that a lot of Bitcoin names, right? We had Bitcoin actually trade up over the weekend. We are off the highs of this morning at 73,380 on the futures chart. So that is driving a lot of these other stocks. First one here is going to be Mara. We have resistance at 20.05. On my chart, I actually marked it off at just about 20. I'll show you that in a little bit here. We also have some support here at 9.30. So we got the downside support here. Support to the downside, resistance to the upside there. CLSK, the other one here. This is another one that we've traded on this show before. Resistance at 17.70, support at 16.50. So kind of a tight range there, about $1. And the last one here is going to be IREN, which we talked about a lot last week. IREN only $6 here, resistance 635, support at 6. So those are going to be our stocks that are on deck here today. I am waiting to trade all of those. So I've got those marked off here in my Trade the Pool software. Let me go ahead and bring that up. And I've got those channels ready to go. So we're going to be looking for those here out of the gate. Now, as far as some of the other movers that we'll see if they set up, let's go ahead and check out those as well. Let me flip over to my movers tool here, and I am going to start with ticker AUUD. This one, the biggest mover of the morning and going to result in the biggest upside gap here today. This is Audia Incorporated. Audia shares are trading higher after the company announced the USPTO awarded it with U.S. patent. I'm not even going to read the number for core AI technology the company uses in its flagship Fader app to deliver ad-free AM/FM radio stations to paid subscribers. So here we go. We got an AI PR ticker AUUD. Stock's absolutely ripping. Already bounced off the VWAP on one pullback, trading towards the high end of the range. 13. What do you see here in AUUD?
Yeah, that information on their core AI patent, is what's driving it. But it's an app that delivers ad-free AM/FM radio stations to paid subscribers. I mean, how does that compete with Spotify and other apps that are like that? Has a 1.96 million share float. They did a reverse split on February 27th. So that's one of the reasons why we have such a low float, and that it's helping to move easily. But I don't know how long this lasts, because I don't really think the product that they are trying to put out there is that appealing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't either. This actually kind of feels like the AI was thrown into the PR. I'm not actually sure how great this is. If we look at the daily chart here, you can see that the big pops are almost always, if not always, met with big drops. So keep that in mind if you're going to trade this here today. In my opinion, this is a day trading vehicle only. There's no way that I would hold this overnight. If you folks think you can get a multi-day swing out of this, would love to hear the case for that, as well as the key levels, but I'd be careful with this one. Day trade only, as far as I'm concerned here. Ticker AUUD. Okay, next on the list here is going to be UCAR, and this is ticker UCAR. Name of the company here is UPower Limited. UPower shares trading higher after the company announced. Oop, that is a misprint. How about that? After the company announced that its battery swapping and sharing model for two-wheeled and light four-wheeled electric vehicles is poised for a formal commercial rollout in Wuhu, China. Okay. Couple of things here. So that's obviously popping this one. The stock traded as high as 10. I think we actually got a 10 print there before we were rejected. We came back in here to VWAP. So to me, this looks like just general trading action. PR here. About battery swapping. Battery swapping is one of like the themes for electric vehicles that kind of helps you get past the road trip problem of having to stop and charge. If it were easy to just pop in a new battery, maybe you could stop for food. One person pops in the new battery and on the journey you go. I don't know if that's actually going to materialize. This is EV from China. We've been talking about the EV sector kind of being not great, not super strong right now. To me, this also just a day trade vehicle. What do you see here in UCAR?
2 million share float. They did a 1-for-100 reverse split last week. So one of the reasons why we have such a low float to begin with. The battery swap rollout news, that's great for the company. But to me, this kind of seems like another candy. You know what I mean? KNDI.
Ticker KNDI, of course.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm kind of getting from this. But at the same time, how is this going to help China's economy that's already struggling right now? I don't see how they can. I mean, maybe I just don't know, and I don't have the information. But to me, with how rough their economy is going right now, that battery swapping vehicles, EV vehicles, even if they're smaller ones like that are used for delivery or recreation, I don't know if there's really not enough of an economy right now in order to really bring in revenue with this. So I'm not sure on this one either. Also, it's a China play, so I'm even more skeptical.
Yeah, basically, while you were saying all that, I basically heard the same thing: day trading vehicle only. Right?
Yeah.
Be careful with this name. This is not one that we're gonna try holding overnight. Okay, next one here is going to be LGVN. This is Longeveron. Now, this is one that we've definitely traded before. This I know a couple of people lovingly call this Lagavulin, which for those Scotch fans out there. But in any case, ticker LGVN. This is popping. This actually popped in the after hours last week, popped again here. We're holding the area. We're not breaking down yet, but we have come in off the highs. Longeveron shares trading higher after the company submitted paperwork for a share offering.
It's
you
more
like that? Yeah, what's that?
There's more to it than that.
There is more to it than that. That is the thing here. Longeveron issues letter to shareholders highlighting its corporate strategy, clinical pipeline, and 2024 key priorities and goals. 13. What do you have here for ticker LGVN?
Yeah. So apparently, this is trying to tell their shareholders exactly what their plan is on their path of profitability, or if they're just have other things that they are trying to work on in the pipeline. Obviously, raising cash is one of the things that they need to work on, and that's the the headline that we read earlier. 933 share float. I'm sorry, not 933. 933,000 share float. 1-for-10 reverse split last month on the 27th. That's why we have such a low float. Other than that, just need to probably wait for some clinical trial data to come out before this starts moving again. But for the time being, it's probably going to be a decent trading vehicle, but that's just in the short term until more news comes out.
Okay. LGVN on deck. All right. Good to see my man James in the chat here. James, it is going to be a good week, brother. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Hopefully you're going to get some golf in. I know the weather's good where we're at here. Okay. Next on the list here, we've got VVPR. This is Vivo Power International here. Again, ticker VVPR. This did pop as high as 750. Looks like it's in the middle of a pullback right now. Vivo Power shares trading higher after the company announced its Tembo subsidiary has now met all of the milestones to obtain the final follow-on strategic direct equity investment into Tembo, a pre-money valuation of $120 million. That's causing VVPR to pop here. We've traded this one a number of times right off the relative volume scanner. I'd actually wait for this to settle here. We take a look at the 15-minute chart. You can see we're still kind of in a range here. Bottom side here that I really don't want to see fall out is about $5. Got a couple of ranges to the upside here, $7.75 and then $10 on that final spot if this thing really gets juiced here. VVPR, what do you think about this one, 13?
Well, I think that because we've known about this news for some time, that this may or may not be a sell the news event. I'd be just, kind of keep that in the back of my mind if I'm going to be trading this today. because we have been talking about this and we have been trading this for a while on this very news. And now that this is looking like it's going to become a done deal, we could see some pullback. Not that this couldn't go higher in the future, but I think because we've been, there's been an expectation of this to happen, that we may see some selling off of, or profit taking off of this upward movement. It does have a 1.5 million share float. And as far as reverse splits go, they don't have any, so don't have any information on there. I just think that it's worth being more careful with this one, since we knew about this news ahead of time, and now this is just more of a confirmation that it's going to go through.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think that's a really good lineup for this one. So, all right, next here we've got AIRC. This is gapping up here. I don't really think there's going to be a trade here. This is Apartment Income REIT, shares trading higher following a Wall Street Journal report suggesting Blackstone is taking the income REIT private. That's popping the stock here. That's why we have such a big gap. I'll be honest, I don't think I want to trade this. I don't know that there's going to be enough movement on this. I know it doesn't, based on the news that we have here, doesn't necessarily seem finalized, but nonetheless, I'm looking for somewhere else. Keep this gapper off my list here. Anything else, or can I just move on?
There's no meat on this bone, but it's kind of interesting to me that they want to take it private, because it sounds to me like they're not really interested in shelling out any dividends from their that company's income. So they must really believe that apartments are poised to make a huge profit in the housing sector. That's at least what one of the takeaways I'm getting from that. So maybe it's going to garner more research in order to find out if that's the case. But I thought that was interesting that they're acquiring that.
And we'll see if that's got some more kind of like tentacles, if you will, or some more runway on some of that. That's interesting. AEHL here, this also popped on Friday, really kind of bled back here in the pre-market. I know we got a Form 13D here. I'd like to see this really firm up. This is kind of really much lower on the priority list. Some of the other names here look like they're going to be much better. This thing hasn't even been able to get over its VWAP today. So we'll see if that changes. Excuse me. Okay, we already talked about IRA. Looks like OCGN WIS. I think you were mentioning this earlier. Ocugen shares trading higher after the company announced U.S. FDA clearance of the IND amendment to initiate a phase 3 clinical trial of one of its drugs. This popping above 2 here. We've seen OCGN trade a lot here. We've kind of got a feel for this one. Shouldn't be necessarily a huge spiker. This should actually move pretty easily. So maybe this will be a good target here. OCGN. You got anything on this 13?
Yeah, this might be short squeezing because it's got a high percent of float shorted. It's got over 8 days to cover. I think that's more of what we're seeing here, because when I read the headline, I have to think, okay, well, this is just basically approval, or the FDA is saying you got the go ahead to start spending more money on your phase 3 trial. So to me, this is like an okay to go ahead and spend money. I don't really think the movement on this should be substantial. It's only because of the high short interest that I think we're seeing it go as high as it is.
Yeah. Okay. Really good stuff there. Carmen saying, so far, none of these tickers seem all that interesting. Carmen, I'm glad that you said it, because I didn't want to be bashed for saying that, but I kind of feel the same. Nothing terribly interesting. I actually really like the setup on some of these Bitcoin names a little bit more. So we'll see.
You could look at Root. That thing is just absolutely bonkers.
It has been bonkers, though. I mean, this thing we talked about this at what, 30, 40, 50, 60 things, $83 here today. Yeah. I mean, just an absolute look. There are some times in the market where you look back on things and you think, you know what? I missed that. I straight up missed. This is it. Root. I mean, when we started to look at this, it was really, really ripping. And we're like, I don't know if I'm going to chase green candles, blah, blah, blah. Well, it just went hundreds of % since then. So that just goes to show you it really can't. Look, I wish I had something better for you. I didn't trade this on the way up. I missed this. I can't in good conscience say, yeah, this should keep going right from here, only to see this get chopped in half. I don't know. To me, this is I missed this one, so I'm staying away from this.
It's discipline. It's discipline. You see something running like that, you're not chasing it. That's just discipline. That's all it is.
Absolutely. All right, Nick, the newsman. I'm sorry we spent so much time on those smaller stocks. What do you got for us?
I was just going to say thanks for throwing up a chart of SPY, because that's actually where I wanted to start,
Let's
guys.
Go.
I was going to say Wells Fargo this morning actually goes to a street high of a new year-end target of 55.35. And so their thinking is that's a 20 and a half multiple, 2025 earnings 270 from 46.25. implying a 6.4 upside. They say that they're going to maintain this stance until we see one of the following. IG credit spreads winds to 115 basis points. Inflation rises enough to erase Fed 2024-2025 easings and or a 10-year UST yield of 5% plus for 6 months. That's according to a new note published this morning from Harvey. Any thoughts?
I don't. I'm sorry.
13, anything?
Nope.
Okay.
I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add. I'm sorry, Nick.
It's okay. If you could flip to NVIDIA, KeyBank actually upped their target this morning to 1,200 from 1,100. They say that they are increasing the price target given supply chain feedback indicates the GB200 with ASPs of 1.5 million to 2 million are expected to become a mainstream configuration in 2025 and could generate as much as 90 billion to 140 billion in revenue. And then they just talk about TSMC and the demand for the H20 in China is much higher than anticipated. And that could contribute 9 billion to 12 billion in incremental revenues. The next one that is gaining talk is, well, just the overall comments from, Taiwan Semi, if you want to go there. Perfect. You know where I'm going.
This actually looks like this is going to curl up towards the highs really quick.
Yes. The Biden administration announces a $6.6 billion for Made in America microchips. We know this morning they are going to provide $6.6 billion for Taiwan Semi so they can expand the facilities. It's already building one in Phoenix, Arizona. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo said the funding for Taiwan Semi means the company can expand on its existing plans for two facilities in Phoenix and add a third newly announced production hub. The funding is tied to the sweeping 2022 law that President Biden has celebrated. That's the Chips and Science Act. So we're kind of just using the funds that he already put for the Chips and Science Act. We are using them, as you can see. So you can see Taiwan Semi. So watch Taiwan, NVIDIA, all the major chips, Micron, Intel, given the production not only here in the U.S., but overseas in China. And also we have Secretary Yellen is currently in China right now meeting with Chinese leaders. And so her interview has been airing in parts on CNBC. So just basically watch for highlights regarding tariffs, regarding the imports, exports in China, and what they plan to do for chips.
Okay. Sounds good. We are getting ready to open here shortly. Jay's Life saying should be scanning charts right now. Bad time to read the news 5 minutes before they open. Jay, no thank you. We will keep doing the show the way we have been doing the show. If you would like to scan charts, please use this time to do that. We would love to know what it is that you see out here, but we are going to run down the news before the market actually opens here.
And then, guys, real quick, earnings begins this week. We get Delta on Wednesday, and then the banks start reporting on Friday. And after Friday, the major banks report, we are going to get a sweeping of earnings. And Netflix actually reports, I believe, next Thursday after the close. So our .com team already has a preview for Netflix Q1 earnings.
All right. Any thoughts for this earnings window coming up? I know we were just kind of in that news pocket for a while. Would love to hear thoughts from the group. Are you playing any of these earnings, starting with Delta or any of the banks? I have nothing positioned for that, but I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I'll just go out and say that if we do have a strong round of earnings this quarter or this season, it's going to push rates even further out.
I think you're probably right on that. So
So
let's wait and see what happens.
Banks very closely, guys. Banks are going to be a biggie. Airlines are going to be a biggie. Tech names are also going to be a biggie. I think all sectors are going to be a big one to watch just because of the run-ups in so many particular names. JP Morgan, of course, Bank of America, Citi. How is the rates going? What are they seeing? Are they adding the M&A? How is M&A? Because we haven't really seen too much M&A. Plus, IPOs fluctuate a lot into banks. This earnings season is going to be one to watch, especially Netflix, Disney, regarding password sharing crackdown. Apple, what's going on in China with iPads, iPhones, the watches. And then airlines recording, of course, with the Boeing incident with the airplanes. What's the summer season going to look like? Are they going to be able to get those positions for pilots filled? We've seen some reports that United is going to be laying off pilots because there's just too much demand. They don't have enough airplanes, and so they want to take some PTO.
Yeah, and I actually saw there was another Boeing incident over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yes.
Real quick here, Jay Rice, I appreciate you answering this so quickly. Banks, I think they ran too hard into the prints. You take a look at JPM here, you definitely see this running into the print. A couple more of those banks that Nick just mentioned, Bank of America, ticker BAC here, same deal. I know it's consolidating a little
We're about
bit
to
here,
open.
but it did kind of run into that. Wells Fargo consolidating. Okay, we are open, folks. Let's see what we got. I'm going to take a look at the scanner here briefly, and then I'm going to flip over to trade the pool for some actual trading. See, we got Longeveron here. Let's get the chart open. What happened here? There we go.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at stuff. Just I saw that news over the weekend about I think it was a Southwest flight.
Yeah, they lost
at
an
the
engine cover. Yeah, James on top of this one here. I just look, I knock on wood, I've never seen anything like that from inside the plane on the plane that I'm flying. I would imagine that would be terrifying. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that
one of the
on
elevators.
anybody.
In the rear tail fin of
Yeah.
the aircraft, to hit one of those.
All right. LGVN, this is trying to make a move back to the VWAP here. Oh, and by the way, Wiss, I know you were asking me, who do I think is going to win the Masters? I haven't made any bets on that yet. I mean, I think the lazy answer in me would say Scotty Scheffler, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen with it. I'm so excited for it.
Is breaking out.
All right, let me flip over to my 13's like, shut up about golf. We're going to talk about market. Let's take a look at AUD here. Here we go. Trade the pool up. This is pushing away here. So this first move right out of the gate is away from that VWAP. Here we go. I would say, that, again, as always, if you're in this, definitely trim into this move. This one continues to move away here.
One thing I also noticed over the weekend that could affect Lockheed Martin, there was an approval of the transfer of, I think, 65 F-16s from, I want to say, Denmark to Ukraine. So that's actually going to be happening. And it's, to kind of make room for the F-35s that they want to bring in. Now, that isn't to say that F-16s, I'm looking at CXAI takeoff right now. That isn't to say that F-16s and, as well as F-15s and 18s wouldn't be made and sent to some other countries. That's still happening. So, but Lockheed Martin makes the F-16 and the F-35. So there could be some replenishment in there in the future.
Lockheed Martin looks like that's going higher here, by the way. LGVN, while you were talking about that, LGVN rejected at its VWAP and now pulling away from the VWAP. AAUD, we talked about that moving away here. CAUD, this did pop earlier, has come all the way back down. This actually looks like this is going to reverse. This was on the scanner, though, so I wanted to bring it up. UCAR, another name from the list here, that is trying to push up here on UCAR. Watch for this to try and go.
Yeah.
IREN broke out of the top end of that range. Let's see if we get a back test here on IREN. Mara came down to the bottom end of the range and bounced there.
Now CXAI is trying to push up to 540.
Okay, let me go over to that here. Mara coming back in now. CLSK, the other one, looks like that came back in. CXAI is the one you're watching? 13?
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's trying to push up to 540. That was the after hours high on Friday.
CADL coming, trying to come off the bottom. Nicola, this is actually has been recently a big move. I know we're all kind of laughing about it. Good morning, Jeremy. No trading for you. Enjoy the day. Jay, you were mentioning, or Jay's Life, excuse me, you were mentioning UCAR here. Let me know what levels you have on UCAR. Oh, this is not a good time for the data feed not to work. Come on now.
Yeah, the next upside target I have for AUUD is $6. We can hold 460.
GVN trading down. UCAR came back in bottom end of the range. AEHO. Oh, Fastly on the scanner here. Fastly making a move off the bottom.
Oh, is that finally getting going?
Yeah, look at this. Actually, we might have a curl here on Fastly.
Easy Mike mentioning XXII, my cousin from last week.
Your cousin. See if we here. By the way, here's Miso. Someone mentioned this one. I think it was Crow. This popping here. Let's take a look at 13's cousin, 22nd. This is coming up off the ground.
A lot of these movers from last week coming back.
LGVN. CLSK. Wow, this first move here was up. CLSK pulling now beneath 1650, or it looks like it's trying to break beneath it. Bitcoin is rolling over here, but seems orderly. Netflix, by the way, this broke out of a very, very tight channel there in the pre-market. This moving lower here. Apple moving lower with this.
I was going to say, Ryan, Netflix, they actually got a price target increase from JP Morgan this morning. They go to 650.
Okay, so that's pretty much right where the price is. So that just kind of stopped there at 640, it looks like. This not over. It's early here. We'll see what firms up here. See what happens here. Excuse me. Tell you what, I'm off a little bit on this Monday. LIFWs is another one that we've traded here before. This popping out of the gate here. CXAI still at the top end of the range. 13. Are you looking for a break over Friday's intraday high here? 40-ish.
Yes. That was okay. Well. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. That is intraday high. I was thinking it was in a different time period, but yes, the intraday high of 540. That's what the upside target is. It looks like it's about to get it too. If we can just get a little bit more volume, and then it will push up. There we go. I broke that. Went up to 545. It's going to have a little bit of trouble at 550. But if we can get through that, then it looks like it could start to accelerate. And 610 is the next upside level I have for CXAI. Tilray getting a mention. Are the pot stocks still doing good?
Sorry.
Oh, they have earnings tomorrow. That's probably why it's probably moving up into earnings. Unless
James, news. Sorry about that. Looks like someone didn't adjust the date. I'll mention that here to the team, especially since there are so many question marks. I think that point will be emphasized. One sec, James. Sorry about that.
Oh, wow, Cooler is really moving too.
LGVN, after that pull, actually reclaimed the VWAP. Might be going higher here on LGVN. You're talking about Cooler. Let's take a look. That's KULR, by the way. Cooler. Wow, big rip out of the gate here, 13.
Yeah, they had. Remember how we were, Zoltan and I were talking about how they were really making a push towards getting into aerospace with their cooling technology, because they already have contracts with NASA and Lockheed Martin and some other military contracts. Well, this is moving on an announcement about getting into the eVTOL space with they didn't name them, but with a major manufacturer. So that would lead me to believe it could be Archer, Joby, or there's a couple other American brands that I can't think of right now. I think Whisk is one of them, but I'm not sure. Anyway, this is why it's moving. It's has to do with their safe case product.
Real quick here, Jay mentioning SMCI, big reversal here. Indeed. So SMCI was actually higher here. This reversal coming as soon as the market opened here. The daily chart sure looks like this kind of wants to roll over on SMCI. And by the way, we were talking about TSM earlier here. That was up in the pre-market. A little bit of profit taking, it looks like. Let's see if this can reclaim VWAP and show some strength. Smoke Tuna also mentioning that ticker DJT in sell-off mode. This losing the $40 handle, now trading below 40. Again, be careful with this one. This is not it for DJT. There will be another upside run, at least one. But today, selling pressure here in DJT.
Thank you, Kingdom Lamb, for pointing out the UCAR halt. That's halted to the downside right now.
Okay. So let's take a look at that here, UCAR. So it looked like that was actually trying to trade up and break that range. You can see it right here on the screen, right? This, what do we have this at? 875. That area right in there, 870, 865, totally rejected. Now halted to the downside here on UCAR. Yikes.
AUUD is still, it was holding that 460 level that I was mentioning earlier for more upside. So as long as it continue to hold that, the next upward movement that we get is going to try to push towards $6. That's the upside target I have. Looks like Bitcoin names are selling out of the gate here.
Yeah, Bitcoin is actually coming in here. I was actually just glancing at that. 72,300 on the futures, all down from that high this morning.
Bitcoin might come down to just under 71,000.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other stocks that we have here. LGVN, this still flirting around its VWAP. CLSK looks like that broke. This actually traded back to the VWAP. Oh, that gave a decent setup there. How are we doing on some of these names here? Let's check Mara.
CXAI as well.
IREN was the other one. IREN down to the bottom of the range here. Don't see any trade set up there yet. It's early, but not yet. Well, you had CXAI, right? 13? Okay.
Me and a whole bunch of other folks are talking CXAI. It's had a nice move out of the gate here. Got as high as 565, and we're coming back in a bit here. But that was, because we were looking for that 540 break. We got that. So now we got to hold VWAP or maybe trade under it a little bit. But if we want to capture 610, we might have to pull back briefly before going up. So we'll see.
TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, continuing to come in here. Looks like MCI doing the same thing, by the way. That sell-off not done yet. VVPR being mentioned here by the chat. Looks like a bottom is in on VVPR right around 6. Jay's Life mentioning Tilray. Tilray running out of the gate here. How are some of the other pot? Is it just Tilray? Or is it some of these?
Well, they have earnings tomorrow, so I think that might be one reason. I don't know what the others got lined up.
CGC doing the same thing. Sundial here doing the same thing, but good point there on Tilray actually having a catalyst coming up here.
Yeah, AUUD, it's starting to get interesting. A bit of a bull flag pennant-ish. Still want to see it hold 460 or VWAP, and then we could try to move up to $6. So interesting movement here on AUUD.
Micron, Jay also mentioning Micron faded that entire pre-market move here. So a lot of these tech names here weak. Nvidia, same deal. Apple's lower from the open from the open and from yesterday's or Friday's close. God, it is. I got a case of the Mondays over here. This is nuts.
It's the eclipse, dude. It's affecting your.
Oh yeah,
pattern.
You know what? That's right. Oh my God. How could I forget my get out of jail free card that I have all day? I'm just going to blame everything on the eclipse. Duh. What was I doing? 13.
Oh, you had your mind occupied with other stuff.
Man, I'm thinking about the golf weather outside and like the question earlier about the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What else are you folks taking a look at here? LGVN. This actually looks like this is going to try and go some size here at 4 if they break it. Let me see what some of the other traders are trading here. Nobody seems to be on that. I see a lot of Go Huskies chants out there.
All right.
Was somebody mentioning this earlier? DXYZ. Did somebody mention this? This is Destiny Tech 100.
Yeah.
Was this AJ?
Somebody was mentioning this. This is the one that Ray was telling us about last week.
Oh, okay. And I think so. It might have been AJ. AJ, I might have been in the middle of a rundown and missed what you said and not highlight. I'm sorry, dude. If you did bring this one up, let's see. DXYZ Destiny Tech 100. It was AJ. I let you down today, AJ. I owe you one, buddy.
Jay's Life saying UCAR. I guess that's back open and headed lower.
This is an interesting stock. AJ, if you could summarize or give like a list of bullets on a couple of things that you think is interesting about that for the group, that'd be awesome. I will say we did just talk about this recently. This one, a new issue for me, though. Jay mentioning that this is a way to play private equity. Interesting. Richard likes this as well. Okay, so we definitely discovered one here. Let me take a look at this.
And how are you guys playing this one?
That's kind of what. Yeah, that's kind of what. Thank you, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, 13.
I was curious if you guys are just trading it daily or if.
Here's why I ask.
Yeah,
because it's a vertical wall
or just
on the
a
daily chart.
Yeah,
it is a vertical wall on the daily chart. All right, let's get this off here. Gary saying I got in at this at 10.
Wow.
Oh. Sally out of CXAI will look for a reload. That looks like a dancing emoji, almost like you're dapping right there. So guess what? You're going to get a register ring here early today.
Getting a mention on COCH from the Crow. Low volume, but it is moving up.
Indeed. Would like to see some more volume on this. Brennan saying bought shares at 25 when it was first mentioned in pre-market prep. Okay. Well, those guys would love to hear that you're up almost 200% from that. Let's go.
I I think we're about to see AUUD make its move towards 6. Certainly trying.
So I would say here, if it falls out of this, that's probably it. Here we go. Let's see if we end up going here in AUUD.
Yeah, it's got to get through 5 where there's some pretty decent size.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to yank it when it gets through 5 too. I like want to buy. I just giving you an insight into the emotion right now. I want to buy this right here for a pop, but I feel like as soon as I buy it, it's going to end up reversing.
Yeah, there's a bit of a fight going on here, so it's possible.
Yeah. We're going to come back to the other one that's going in here is LGVM. This has kept going ever since that VRAP reclaim. This thing has actually been strong. Let's see on AUUD here. Do we revert? See, I'd like it to come back into the bottom of this range and hold again, right? Shake out some of those weak hands, of which I don't want to be one, and then wait for this thing to absolutely rocket. It might just do that might rocket without allowing me to reload.
Yeah, I think, you might be right. You might get another chance here to reload. I think you were given a couple of chances, over the past 10 minutes.
Yep, and I passed on them. I know I wasn't ready for them. So I don't think chasing here is the right move. Jane Smith saying traded it twice today. I'm done for the day.
Nice.
Ring for you, Jane. Good job.
Great job.
Here we go on AUUD. Let's see if this curls up.
Yeah, it would have to take out 536 and then move on up to $6. Looks like so far it's
here we go on 5.
Making headway. Oh, it's eating up through 5 right now.
There it goes. Look at that, right through. So popped through there. Did that gave it about? I see about whipping. 10 cents on that.
Whipping around.
And here comes a pull. Do we pull all the way back to that VWAP? I got that VWAP at 441. That would be a nasty pull if we did that.
So we're getting Graph Rider. Graph Rider, is that how it's pronounced? BA News.
Did we get any BA news here? Let me bring it up here. I'd be happy to read it if we did get that. I don't have anything new here from other than what we talked about. Bernstein maintained an outperform, lowers the price target to 240. We talked a little bit about the engine cover, losing the engine cover. What were you seeing there? What were you referring to? Yes, he said. Okay, that's not specific enough. Let me know what you're referring to. By the way, AUUD, as we broke from that, unfortunately, AUUD continuing to pop here. Let's see if the top gets broken off here. 538 going to be that intraday high. 536.
If it comes back in like it's doing right now, I'm still looking to see if it would hold. This 460 area, at least close above it, and you got about less than 2.5 minutes to do that in this 5-minute chart. And it could still try to reload and get back up there, but if it starts to break beneath like 425, I'd be a little bit more skeptical about it recovering.
See, I'm trying to use this pullback as an opportunity to buy some here, but I think it actually might still go lower here. 460's got some size there. I bet they attack that. 444 the VWAP. That's where I'd like to get it.
460 is the support level. It's been the support level for the past 15 minutes.
Well, let's see if that holds here because I think we're coming back into that. Glenn, mentioning Tesla, we will check Tesla. I see it here off the corner of my eye. It is printing or moving towards the highs here. Let's see if it takes out the after hours high from Friday. I'll get over to Tesla here in a sec.
Taking a look at it
It all comes after Musk said that the robotaxi will be unveiled on August 8th.
So what do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? You laughed. Nick rolled his eyes pretty much. So that tells me what I need to know right there.
Well, he doesn't have a great track record of meeting the dates that he sets.
No, he does not.
So, I kind of laugh because it's
CADL going here through 7, by the way. Sorry.
It's okay. It seems like it's more responsive, that claim than anything else. If he really does have robotaxi ready to go on August 8th, then I guess I would be personally surprised. But I think this is more of a reaction response, given the recent headlines and that issue that was. Do you remember what that was regarding? I think it was regarding the plans to cut the affordable car out of.
That came on Friday. But Musk said Reuters is lying. But Gordon Johnson, though, it is interesting you brought this up. Gordon Johnson did a thread over the weekend basically on Friday after this report came out, showing what Reuters reported compared to Musk saying, and basically saying Reuters was right all along. I don't know what you're denying, Musk.
I didn't.
LGV on ripping. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I actually didn't see that. Would like to go through that, Red, or through that, Red.
And
Jeez, it's a Monday. Okay, sorry. I know I'm too slow to hit all this stuff. LGBN halted here.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. It just stopped briefly. It's not halted. I apologize.
Okay. Up towards the highs here in LGVN. I'm going to keep watching AUUD here. I'm not going to chase this LGVN up here. As far as the robo-taxi here, this does seem a little bit desperate, right? Seems like that was kind of desperation. James here mentioning that he timed it against the false news that went out last week.
Good.
Gordon Johnson's been wrong for 5 years on Tesla. That's true, too. Let's not forget that.
So basically, guys, what this report was saying that the entry-level Tesla car wasn't going to be built. That's according to 3 sources familiar with the matter that are telling Reuters. Tesla was going to focus on the self-driving taxi instead, sources said. And then they said that the strategy shift comes to Tesla as Tesla faces competition from China EV makers, including BYD. But this report, though, that they talked about said that this was going to be the new Model 2, that this new entry-level car was going to be a Model 2, and it was going to start at around $25,000. And this report just goes on to say that the Tesla expressed optimism about how this car was going to go, but they scrapped it just because they weren't really getting anywhere, given the EV cells, how they've been lagging, how Ford has been cutting production from EVs and moving to hybrid. They didn't think that the demand for the $25,000 car was actually going to get anywhere. So Musk actually replied saying Reuters was lying again. But when you come to look at it, all the scoops that Reuters has had regarding Tesla in the end have been right, even though Musk has denied the reports.
There you go. By the way, AUUD, this knifed here, so this is looking more attractive. Let's see if it can get back above the VWAP.
Peloton, interesting.
The support not holding here.
Sorry, this Peloton is interesting. It's just had green candles out of the gate on the 5-minute chart ever since it opened.
AUD volume has dried up here. Not sure we get a bounce. MACD histogram looks like it wants to expand to the downside. I'm not sure this bounces here.
Mara might be finding a bottom. If not now, then maybe very soon.
Mara, we actually have a key level from the past here at 1834, only 30 cents away from where we're at if Mara comes back in.
Okay, well that's essentially the bottom of this consolidation channel, this demand area that we're coming down to, that was put in after hours on Friday. LGBN trying to push higher. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's totally fine. Jay, looks like you shorted some more CGC here on this pop. You know, the CLSK here, it might be fairly decent for a short.
That's a good movement capture out of the gate here. I think I'll just kind of hold off and wait to see what kind of shakes out.
Yeah, that's not bad if you're in a good spot. I haven't taken anything yet, so I'm kind of itchy to take some here. I want to see if this kind of rolls over again.
I don't want to get chopped. Well,
I loved that show, man. I watched so much Chopped. So come on, push. Come on. Push back up and stop. Give me that spot here. 1670. We're almost there.
No, you got to talk to it like it's an old girlfriend.
That's generally speaking doesn't go well for me. I don't think.
I'm sorry. I didn't want
It's
to
okay.
on the spot.
It's okay, dude. It's okay. Look, it's a Monday. We're out here having fun. We got the eclipse, right? We'll just blame it on the eclipse.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. That's the total reason why I'm saying the things I'm saying.
You don't want to get chopped. No, I don't. That show was good though. It looked like there was some I had some fun watching that show. All right, I'm actually going to take some here. I'm going to get some take just a kind of an opening starter. That means it should go higher, and hopefully I'll be able to reshort it here.
All right, you guys ready? Ryan's going to take some profits. That means get ready to trade.
That's just jam it, dude. Just jam it.
Looks like Piton's about to put its first red candle in. I think it may have topped out at 380. It's been having trouble getting above that level for the past 15 minutes or so.
I'd love to see CLSK accelerate to the downside here. Might even short a little bit more if it's able to do that. It pops up above that VWAP and doesn't keep running. Oh my God. I can't confirm if this is true. No, that can't be true. That is.
Don't make us wait. Tell us.
No, I was saying I saw another trader buddy post a picture here of small towns in Ohio waiting for the eclipse, but it looks like a sports parade. That might be fake news.
I wouldn't be surprised if it had large crowds. We our state's in a bit of a state of emergency because so many people are coming to watch the eclipse in Texas.
Wait a sec. Your state is in a state of emergency because of Americans traveling to Texas to see the eclipse and not because of stuff at the border?
It's kind of funny, huh?
Oh my God. Priorities. LOL. All right.
AUUD might be finding support. If not, I think that 270 is probably going to be the next support if we continue to break down here.
Okay, I'm going to flip over there real quick. David was asking, what were the levels here for CLSK? Resistance at 1775, support at 1650. As you can see, David, we just lost 1650. My short was at 1652, so we were right in there, not totally on. Let me know if that's what you were looking for, David.
Yeah, Crassy. So are my kids. They're hoping to be able to see it, but if they don't get this overcast to clear out, it's not going to be a very fun day.
Yeah, one of my buddies is actually driving to Indiana to get a better view at it.
Let's all go look at the sun.
I mean, look, I tell you what, I'm doing this. This is all for the memes. Okay, this is all for the memes. I don't have the glasses, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to pull a Trump. I'm going to look at the eclipse without glasses, just like he did. And we're doing it for the memes, right? If I ruin my eyesight, tell the world my story, guys. I mean, do something.
Ryan's going to trade like this.
I'm just trying to have some fun with this. I'm just trying to have some fun with this. David, glad we were able to get that there for you. Here we go. We continue to break lower here on CLSK. So 13, and we took that starter position thinking, maybe, it's starter, maybe it'll run against me. No, it ended up working out because I'm not sized into it. This move here working, though. So this, again, just to kind of reiterate what the setup was here, we talk a lot about process here. What we had this range. We had the 1706 to 1670 range in here. We actually broke this on the upside right out of the gate. That was the head fake move. Once we lost the VWAP, we were never able to reclaim this VWAP. So once we actually lost the lower support region here, which was at 1670, once we back tested it, lower we go, folks. We were not able to get above that or the VWAP. Lower we go here. This short work would love to cover this right at 16. Love to cover this right at 16. It's very, very small. Unfortunately, it's just a very, very small. Would like to have grabbed more than this, but that's okay. We'll stick to the process here.
Yeah, I think between 1550 and 16 seems pretty good.
Thinking about it says you can glance at it for a few seconds without harm, just like looking at the sun any other time. I know. I mean, I'm not going to go blind here, but I could not pass up the opportunity to make a joke there, especially even the last time we had this. Trump literally looked right up at it. I mean, it just, you couldn't write that. If you were accounting, you couldn't write that. So I had to take that joke. I'm sorry.
It kind of makes you wonder if he's looking at it today.
I wonder what's going to happen after all that backlash. I kind of wonder.
That's why DJT is selling off. You look at the sun.
Oh my God. We just figured out the catalyst. Short DJT. Oh my God. 13. We out here.
Sorry. That's just a joke. Oh man.
CLSK coming in here, would love to cover this up. We got the low here at 1607. We'll see if that ends up falling here. Actually going to raise a stop on this too, just to make sure. I know it's kind of a small position, but we just got to make sure we don't lose gains here. 30. We're actually bumped that down here to 29. There we go. Okay. So stop set. Can't possibly lose here. Really want to see a flush through 16. We'll see if we do that. Let's take a look at some of the other stocks that we had a setup on. Mara, so this one never actually back tested that level, but this doing the same thing CLSK is. These stocks, by the way, moving to the downside a lot faster than the price of Bitcoin itself. So notable here, Bitcoin is actually holding here at about 72,500 on the futures. Tony mentioning CADL. Good to see you again, Tony. CADL, this has actually been green right out of the open here, really kind of traded up off that 6 level. We do have a high of 727 here that it's going for, so good call here, Tony.
Yeah, UCAR is coming back down to me, it looks like it's going to be coming back down to, we'll say 590.
Ricky Zen saying, I'm going to look at the eclipse because I am getting slapped by my SMCI trade. I wouldn't look at the sun because of a bad trade. To me, that seems like you're compounding your problems, but what do I know? UCAR here, this thing, ever since that rejection, this thing is just complete lower here. That was a good short. UCAR.
Mara's got to be finding a bottom here soon. Otherwise, to some of the other folks' point that they were saying, it's probably going to head down under 18.
That 1834, I want to see if we bounce there. See, what else are we... EKS mentioning coin. That's interesting. Coin higher here. So with some of those other... Sorry, 13, get in there.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm just saying, yeah, coin. It's going along with the theme that we've been talking about, how this is poised to do better than some of these miners are.
Which that's to me that exactly okay. So coin a better stock here than some of those miners. We're actually seeing those miners move lower here, and Bitcoin still holding in. Bitcoin not even really moving now. CLSK at that 1607 spot that we just talked about actually set a new low here, 1604. Let's see if we break here. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take this. Where's that?
Looks like LGVN needs to stop with the downside, or we could really start to break down.
Here we go. If we snap 16, I'm going to sell into this move. There we go. And we'll close that position here. All set, folks. CLSK short to the downside, closed out. Unfortunately, very, very small. Would have liked that for a little bit more. We only traded the starter position. We never actually added on that one, unfortunately. But you can see here, pretty decent move. So that one worked. We'll look to set that into the next trade here. Good stuff. CLSK. And by the way, just to kind of note this, that actually came directly from one of Trade the Pool's setups. So when we give you these in the morning, there's definitely money to be made off of those. AUUD getting mentioned here by Smoke Tuna for a potential setup. Looks like we might reclaim the VWAP here, Smoke Tuna. Got that VWAP at 442, I believe.
One of the lottery tickets is oh, by the way, did you hear that somebody won?
No, and I didn't buy any. I was actually tied up this weekend doing other things, completely forgot. So it's over. The Powerball, someone won it.
That's the last news report that I read that somebody in Oregon did. But anyway, speaking of lottery tickets, IDAI had news this morning and it popped up to $1.07. It's come back down to $1 even, but I thought it was really interesting. The news. This is one that we've talked about. We said it could either be a really, really great idea or a really bad idea, and it hasn't been great. But when you get these news headlines like the one it just put out today, like literally about minutes ago, and then it moves like this. So you see the news on that? No,
sorry, I'm taking care of something here.
Okay, no worries. It just says Trust Stamp launches fast-track multi-factor biometric authentication for financial institutions and others vulnerable to deepfake voice attacks.
Is that for which ticker is that for?
IDAI.
IDAI. Okay.
Yeah.
Good old T-Stamp.
Yeah. This is a lottery ticket, folks. This is not something I would really, even want to see people try to trade. It's very, very spready, and you're either going to make good money on this or you're going to lose everything you put into it.
FYI, I booked a loss on that stock already, trying to swing that one. We tried. AUUD here might be reclaiming the VWAP here, Tuna. Netflix moving lower. So here, let's take a look at the Netflix chart because we actually had one for that as well. Netflix fell right out of that pre-market high. This actually looks like it's trying to go lower here. Netflix.
And why are we? I mean, I don't really think that's a big move.
What, the Netflix move?
Yeah, we're. I mean, I understand that it's. Well,
It's
okay,
not a
so
percent. It's not that big.
Yeah. Okay. CLSK, on the other hand, is getting slaughtered. Sorry.
Nope, you're totally fine. AUUD here, trying to reclaim this VWAP. Up. Are we going to get rejected or are we going to reclaim this here? Might try and trade some of this.
UCAR might be finding support. If we can't find support at 590, then I think it's going to go under 5 down to 475.
All right, AUUD. We got some size here at 450. Let's see if we end up taking that. They're taking it. I'm taking some. An AUUD. I got kind of a crappy fill. Let's see if this keeps moving higher here, though. There we go. See, 470, the next spot with size there. See if we can get rolling here on AUUD. 475 is a potential spot here. We actually consolidated around 5. Let's see.
You got to stop on that?
Not yet. I'm just kind of watching it here. If it really falls beneath 440, we'll stop out of this. I'm trading this for the bounce. I'll be okay. I'll be quick on this stop. I don't have it placed, so I don't get shaken, but we'll see.
All right, just the current formation makes me a little nervous, but
yeah,
it could pop.
It's got to pop and go higher here, or this isn't going to work. To your point about this particular formation, it's got to pop here and go higher. It did take out some of these levels here, which is the reason why I went after it. There was definitely some stock there that it took up.
460 is that was
460 stopping it here.
Yeah, 460 is the support turn resistance. So now that it's resistance, it's going to be a big level to get over, and that's quite a large amount of shares.
It's got to take this one. Nope. AUUD. Bouncing here. I don't want to take this yet. I've already got green trade here, so I don't want to be shaken too early. It's just if this really starts to get out of hand, we'll peel it off. I still think if we pop above here, we could make a run at that 460, and if that falls, you could get a second pop. Let's see here.
LGVN with knives out.
Knives, baby, knives. All right, let's see. Where are we going to actually put a stop on this in case it really gets rolling?
CLSK down to the area where I thought it would find the bottom. Let's see if that's going to hold true or not.
What is that price, by the way?
Down to about 1550.
Oh, wow. So went another 50 cents from where we're 45 cents from where we closed it. Okay, wow. That still had some more move to the downside at CLSK. AUUD really kind of figuring out which direction it's going to go right around this 450 here. Smoke Tuna saying AUUD play safe. Yeah, we're not going to let this. Get rolling to the downside here. Let's see if we take 460. Yeah. That's the next spot. It's on it here, but it's got to take it. It's got to take it.
Got to get that big whale to come in and just chew through all that. Here we go. Looks like it's about to do it.
Yeah, let's see if it gets rejected here, though. See, so that I actually saw it print it looks like it dropped about 1,000. I've got 18,000 here. It looks like it went to 17 and then got refilled. So we'll see here. If this starts to crack, just going to have to get out of this one. Sorry to keep it on the screen. We'll see what happens here.
It's a fun fight to watch.
Yeah. Coin is getting slammed now. Okay, here we go at 460 now in AUUD. Let's see if it's stronger the second time through here. There's the size. There looks like, God, they're just adding to it.
UCAR might be recovering, but I'm not committed on that statement.
Not committed. See, Jay's Life saying AUUD is going up. Jay, this 460 area, we need something to happen right here. If that happens, if it takes this 460 out, I do think we could go up. We might be able to sell into that. Sally's mentioning Mara got dumped. Okay, we will check on Mara here. It looks like Bitcoin price actually still kind of rolling over a little bit here, but orderly, not a big sell-off.
Yeah, and CLSK might have found a bottom. It got down to 1545 and reversed. So we'll see if this reversal continues.
You know what's crazy is that the size at this 460 is changing around. So like just now, when we were just looking at it, it was like 23, 24K down to 14K. We'll see what happens when we push back up and test it. Let's see what's fake there and what's real at that spot, 460. AUUD 5-minute setup, still red, so it needs some time. Okay. I've got and just to, that's Smoke Tuna mentioning that just for the record here, I do have a 3-minute chart for any of you that are kind of watching this battle here. Let's see if this 460 falls.
It's crumbling. That's for sure. It's not the over 20,000 it used to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering how many of those orders flashed out there were real and how many of them were just kind of trying to inflate this number. Let's see. Here we go. There it goes. Bang, and it's out. Let's see if we actually go higher here. Make a move back towards 5. I'd love that. Can't let this trade go red on me anymore, though. AUUD.
Looking for LGVN to try to find a bottom here, or at least stop at the accelerated selling.
Jay giving us the trade plan here for his trade plan here, excuse me, for AUUD. In at get in at 470, sell at 530, stop loss at 514. So that gives you what looks like about a 1-to-1 on that. Let's see if 480 is the next spot up here. Let's see if 480 falls. There we go. We're on 480 and through. Here we go. Going up to 5. Let's go here. 5 has some more size here, folks. Let's see if that gets tested on AUUD. Come on, 5. We break this 5 here. We're definitely selling to that. We'll definitely sell into that. Here we go. You got the strength to take out 5, dude? Got that strength. Let's see. Going back in 490 being reloaded there. Let's see on 490. Did they just take that?
I mean, either way, that was great.
Yeah, here we go. Come on. Let's see if we can take that 5. This is, look, we're getting what we're looking for here, right? We've got a plan and we're trading the plan here. Move through 5 here. We take this. Actually, I should set up a stop just in case, since we're already green here.
Guys, watch Shell, ticker SHEL. We are getting reports from the Telegraph that Shell is considering quitting the London Stock Exchange for New York and what would be the biggest blow to the UK struggling stock market to date. The chief executive of Shell goes on to say that I have a location that clearly seems to be undervalued. The index has traditionally been dominated by oil and gas companies as well as mining and commodity stocks. The comments will spark fears that Shell, which is the largest company on the FTSE 100 with a market value of roughly 180 billion, could become the latest to flee the London market. So watch Shell. It is trending lower after it hit a 52-week high this morning.
Sorry to change subject here. We did sell into that spike above 5 here. Looks like this is still going on AUUD. So we are 2 for 2 here today. Great call. Jay, you were absolutely right, by the way, on this. AUUD is going higher. Bang. Great call. Register ring. 1 up for you, Jay's Life. Good stuff on that one. So 2 for 2 here, booked gains. So now it's coming back in. This is exactly why we sell it. Real quick here, 2 really small trades, not bad. $200, 2 for 2 here today. AUUD CLSK. That's what I want to see on Eclipse Day. Great stuff there. Yeah. Great stuff, Jay. You were calling that live as it were happening. You guys were watching it happen here. That is exactly what we want to see. So now that the trade is actually over here, taking a look at the performance, I actually left quite a bit on the table. Looks like we traded all the way up to 577. Was that the high print that you mentioned in there? Wow, big time. This would be an opportunity if you had kind of a bigger position on that, maybe scale out into that, kick some of those chunks out as some of those levels are getting crossed. Make it a little bit easier to hold that. Overall, though, 2 for 2 here on the trades. Not pissed about that.
Remember, this is all moving on their patent.
Yep.
So that doesn't mean revenue yet. Looks like LGVN is trying to start to recover here.
Good stuff there, everyone that was hitting this one. Lots of Sally, Gary, Brett, Money Farmer. Good stuff all around there, AUUD. Okay, LGVN. Is this our next target here? It is curling off that, looks like 350. Do we even get down there?
We got a wall.
Okay, yeah.
Got a wall at 394 that's trying to get through right now.
Love this. Love this comment here, Jay's Life. Scaling out. That is how you're going to maximize your gains. That is definitely something that I've struggled with, especially when I'm operating on these smaller position sizes. It's actually easier for me to scale out when I have more stock. But that's just me. Okay. Miso, slow grind up. We'll check back in on LGVN here. Take a look at Miso.
Is it halted?
It is not yet. Miso halted is not here yet. Sorry. Sorry.
Old jokes.
Old jokes. They die hard, man. What can I say?
That was a good movie. AXTI.
I have to throw that on tonight.
AXTI. I don't think we've talked about this one, but this morning, but it's got some nice upward movement here, and it's trying to go for 4.
13 Webcoin wants to know if he should file for a patent. Maybe his net worth will go up, just like that trade. We'll see. Webcoin, sure, I don't know.
let me know what your publicly traded ticker is, and we'll take a look.
AXTI here. This is holding up in this consolidation area. I like that it's kind of building above the VWAP here. We'll see if it ends up taking out these highs. Got that high there at 4. Yeah, by the way, 13 AUD came back into this 484.90 level and is consolidating there. So that is actually setting up for another move higher here if this doesn't pull. If you folks are looking to trade this again, first of all, if you've already made some money on it, just use your profits. Don't go too heavy here. But if you're going to trade this again, have a protection for the downside, because the next move here might be a pullback. Oh, rug pull. Pullback, rug pull, whatever you call it. LIFW being mentioned by Becca. Good morning, Becca. Hopefully you're doing, oh my God, look at LIFW. This has moved several times off that VWAP. NEE being mentioned by Kevin. Let's take a look at NEE. This is Next Era Energy. Maybe this is trying to break out here. Decent looking daily chart above the 200 here on NEE. This one would be more likely to hold for a swing here, wouldn't it, Kevin? Jay still shorting the pot stocks here. CGC green to red. Nice, Jay. You were mentioning this early, by the way, reshorting right up here when this had first popped in here. Great stuff, Jay. Bringing you that follow Jay into this. Nice little regression back to the mean in CGC here.
I think AUD wants to try to take another shot for 6.
I think you're right. Now, here we go. Watch this 540 level. Remember, this was a level on the way up here. I do see some stock waiting there. And as I was just saying, remember, if you're trading this, just have a plan in case you get that rug pull. Protect yourself against that pull.
UCAR is starting. It looks like it's turning around. Making a U-turn.
It's making I was thinking about the joke, and then it came out of your mouth just 1 sec before I could get it there. Let's see if UCAR can actually retake that VWAP here. LGVN, Kingdom Lamb was mentioning that was a false breakout earlier, or false curl. Yeah, LGVN pulled back down here. PTN getting mentioned by a number of people here. This is Paladin, not Peloton. Paladin, this looks like this is trying to reclaim the VWAP here. DXYZ, that Destiny Tech 100. Oh, look at this. This came back into the VWAP. This actually looks like it might try to go higher here.
Yeah. Looks like there's a real push, trying to push AUD down, but it doesn't seem like it's working.
So Mara here, by the way, speaking of down, Mara, this is ugly. This actually breakdown from this 1941. This would have been a better short than the CLSK short, excuse me, but it didn't give the clean setup that we were looking for. Interesting. Now AUUD, let's see here, 13. This is the big trader at the moment, isn't it?
I mean, it's certainly one that has the most, well, not the most volume, but quite a bit of volatility. Big volume stick on that pop too. Mm-hmm. That big candle that took us to 570 there. Huge, the biggest volume stick of the day. Crow's mentioning that Roots providing an entry. I mean, really? You think so? I know it's pulled back.
pinching myself to make sure I'm awake here, but maybe this is.
What else?
No, I didn't see this. I appreciate you throwing this back into the chart, Jay. Did not see this. First of all, Jay, how are you doing, man? How's the recovery process going? How are you feeling? DXYZ, did you see my earlier post? Look for a dump if they release an option change. Tough to short now. So I think you meant option chain, right? So if all of a sudden options become available, you're looking for this to pull back. Let me know if I got that right. Yeah, currently no options on. Let me know if I got that right. And then the second question is, if it pulls back and holds, are you a buyer there? By the way, AUUD looks like that pulled here.
Yeah.
It's
trying to recover, but those upper shadows over the past 10 minutes don't look too great.
Yep. Was what I was just trying to say. Just be careful with this one because we're expecting a pullback. Just be careful with it. Just be careful with it.
UCAR's still trying to get back up there, but volumes kind of left that one.
Jay said yes. Okay. So you're looking for a move down if options are released. And then maybe a long if that settles. Maybe. Guess we'll have to see how that trades first before we put you on the spot there for that. CXAI getting mentioned here. Seahorse Trading. Good morning, Seahorse. Looks like this is right above that VWAP, pushing back towards those highs on CXAI. Did you trade this out of the open? Did this give you an early trade, 13?
I don't know if I traded it.
Yeah, I can't remember if you hit that one or not. If we were, because I was watching something else when that moved.
It might have been the second candle that I started trading that.
Okay.
I didn't do it out of the open though. No.
Uber moving lower here. What does that mean for Lyft? Remember, we were talking about Lyft recently. This still doing a fairly decent job holding this area. What, 1720? So this double bottom here, about 17 and a quarter on Lyft. Coming back into that spot. We'll see. It looks like maybe this is trading with Uber here as it's lower slightly.
What's the news on Uber? Is this in relation to the $20 hike for restaurant workers or in California?
Uber technology headline. I was going to say, Ryan, we just had a pro headline saying that Uber shares are moving lower. This could be on the news that Musk posted about the Tesla robotaxi, but still trying to work the wires and seeing if we can confirm anything regarding Lyft, Uber, if Uber has any specific news.
Okay, so he that's the thought here. So really quickly, let me just flip over to Benzinga Pro. We'll come back to trade the pool here in a sec. Here is the news headline that Nick is referring to. Now, here's my question, guys. This is how I'm going to think about this. If we think that Musk is desperate or whatever your thought, if you think he's kind of BSing this or you don't trust the timeline or whatever, isn't this a buy indicator? Right? Don't you want to buy Uber here if you think Tesla has no chance at doing this, if the stocks hit on this? Would like to hear what you guys think on this. I'm not a buyer of Uber here. I don't know if Elon's going to reduce the Uber or release the Uber taxi. I would not get into a car that doesn't have a driver. Personally, it's just me. Oh, let me know what you guys think here. Uber, first of all, it looks like it's doing a fairly decent job of holding 74 here. We'll see if it ends up moving lower here on Uber.
I mean, when I look at the earnings that they reported back in February, guys, I mean, it seems like all the metrics beat expectations. They reported, 24%, 15% year over year. I mean, the numbers that they put up in February were not alarming. I believe when they reported earnings, the stock actually jumped. So maybe it's just this fear going into the next earnings report that there's some kind of metric, there's something that's not going to beat, but it also could be regarding the robotaxi. I don't know. I mean, DoorDash, Lyft, this Uber delivery stuff, maybe it's slowing down given more people are heading back to the office, more people are going out and about.
I would think if more people were going back to the office, that'd be a net positive for Uber.
Well, if I live down the block from the company, I'm not going to take an Uber down the block. I'm going to
okay. Fair point. Real quick here, Jeremy, I like this comment a lot. I wouldn't either regarding the letting automated robo taxis drive you around. I'm barely comfortable letting another human drive me. I'm in the same boat there. I like driving. Actually, just mixed it up a little bit with this clown in a pickup truck on Saturday, but we won't get into that. He got dusted. That's all you need to know.
Guys, if you could flip over to stock, ticker PWT, Perella Weinberg Partners, we are getting reports that U.S. Representative Josh Gottheimer bought stock in a company called...
What's the ticker again? P what?
PWP.
PWP?
PWP. Perella Weinberg Partners, PWP. Stock is actually moving higher on this news. You can see it was lower, but moving higher.
Is.
FW.
This is apparently Gottheimer sits on the financial services. This is a financial services company. Gottheimer sits on the House Financial Services Committee. And this account is called Quiver Quantitative. So they are bridging the information gap between Main Street and Wall Street on X. They say what's even stranger is that this is the first time we've seen a member of Congress trade the stock, and they're going to keep an eye on it. But ticker PWP.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm taking a starter on this because Gottheimer's track record looks like he knows some stuff. You take that for whatever it's worth. I'm taking some right here. 1525 opened up a starter here on PWP on Nick's News. We'll see. Very, very small. If this comes in $1 or $2, I won't even really care. So just keeping that out there, just making it public. I'm taking this trade in my main account, not in the Trade the Pool account.
Meanwhile, while that was going on,
Life W, let's go.
ripped, and then
Yes.
I'll come back in.
So I kind of saw the tail end of this. I'm sorry, guys. We were kind of running through some other stuff there. LIFW, great calls by a whole bunch of the team here. Becca's all over it. Smoke Tuna's all over it. Kevin's on it. Number of you guys all over this. Crow, of course. So great job, you guys, on Life W here. Hopefully you scaled out on that move. Again, the one thing I want to highlight here, look how it's coming back in. When you get these moves where it just rockets up, don't be afraid to pay yourself on that way up. Great trade here. More. I'll tell you what, we're giving out a ton of cash register rings this morning. 13. I love it.
It's been a good day. Good morning.
It has. It really has been a good day. Smoke Tuna saying he's going to join me on PWP. Okay, here we go. Long and strong, baby. You're buying PWPs at its highs. Indeed, which is why I told you I'm taking a very, very small position here. All part of the risk management plan. We'll see.
A lot of people were buying NVIDIA at their highs too.
Yeah, you got that right. And then it kept making new highs. Crow saying 100%, Ryan, I sell and move on. That's how you got to do it, Crow. Put the money in your pocket. Don't give it back to people. Don't give it back to people.
Looks like AUUD, after a bit of selling there, it's trying to recover.
CADL getting mentioned here. AC2000, good morning. CADL is still flirting with that 7 line here. We actually already had a decent move from 6 to 750. Now we're kind of holding here at 7. Penny stock CNXA appearing on the relative volume scanner. Kind of pass on this. Cooler still on here. 13 looks like this came in from its highs though on Cooler.
Probably will come down to about 65, and we'll see what happens when it gets there.
AUUD holding up here at that 480 level. We talked a lot about those levels. How's Iron doing? We looked at that one. Wow, look at the breakdown here on Iron.
Oh, somebody sound the siren for Iron.
So, and look at CLSK. This kept going here. Wow. So I'm going to
take care, Jamie.
Take care of yourself, Jamie. Real quick. Nope, all good. Well, I just want to highlight here. We talk about Trade the Pool all the time. Talk about, obviously, the prop firm. Whether you need a prop firm or not is up to you. But here's the other cool thing about Trade the Pool. Let's highlight it real quick. So look at this. Mara, CLSK, and Iron. These were the 3 plays on Trade the Pool's radar here today. Take a look at this. Here's CLSK. We did trade this to the short side. This was a banger. This worked. Here's Iron, arguably more of a banger. Maybe we didn't get the setup that we wanted. This also worked to the short side. And then Nara was the final one. Look at this. So the 3 stocks that were flagged here for potential moves all moved in the same direction here. We traded one of them live for a gain. Good stuff here from Trade the Pool. We can't thank them enough. Awesome, awesome stuff here today.
Looks like AUD is having a hard time getting back above the VWAP that I have. So not sure about this one. Might be headed lower for the day. We'll see what happens if it gets down to $3. There could be some support there. Looks like VUZI that was getting mentioned earlier has low Well, I guess the volume's okay, but it looks like it's about to break the 157 level that I put in earlier and go higher.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, this needs a little bit more. Okay, well, there it goes. It just made a new high.
Which one? AUD did?
VUZI.
VUZI. Excuse me. I'm having trouble following you with the tickers here. It's my fault. Nobody else's. My fault. VUZI here. New highs. CXAI.
Yeah, CX.
D's mentioning Reddit moving lower here. Reddit actually looks like it's trying to kind of curl off this 46 and change-ish spot. I don't know. I saw the comment earlier. You guys were talking about A-Lab versus Reddit in terms of some of the newer IPOs. I think it was Jay that mentioned they liked A-Lab more. Crow, I know you've been on A-Lab a lot here. Tell you what, on this daily chart right here, doesn't it look like A-Lab is flagging? Let me move over to a bigger daily chart and we'll take a look at it together. Oops, guy, I'm just misclicking all over the place. This darn eclipse, man.
As long as it's not with the trade.
No, it's not. Actually, trading's been decent. I'll take the eclipse every day. We get decent trading and I just fumble over a few words. Yeah, we'll take that. That's pretty accretive over the long run. Anyway, here's what we're looking at on Astera Labs here. Of course, the IPO impulse move up to a high of about $95. Now we've, in fact, how much have we retraced here? Let's take a look. If we go right from the high to right where we are now, retraced about 24%, just under 24% of that initial move, that move back down to where we're at from the highs here. I could easily see this curling back up towards $90. And frankly, if it breaks this top, I think it probably goes through 100. So for those of you that like A-Lab here, it's actually not a bad formation on the daily. I know we don't have a lot of candles here, but from what we do have, this actually looks pretty decent. What do you think, 13? You're a big chart guy. We do have some upper shadows on these wicks. I'll give that to you.
Let me look at my chart.
Yeah, take your time. I never like putting you on the spot, but I do like your technical analysis quite a bit. So I definitely try to get your opinion there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's you got consolidation happening here for sure, and
yeah,
as long as we can, hold that, that's fine. I could see the scenario you're talking about where it could push up after it curls, but you're going to need the volume to return. It doesn't have the same volume it did when it IPO'd. So This could be one of those things where we've seen other IPOs, they consolidate after they had their initial run, and then they end up going higher. So I don't know how long this would take to do that, if it's going to do that at all. But just keep it on your radar. Look for it to break 78, and then we can have that conversation about where it's going to go.
Okay, there you go. I like it. You're giving us a spot here. Look at to break 78. We got that level right about here. Okay, there's your target. A-Lab, ticker ALAB. Good stuff there. Under the gun too. Coming out with good stuff under the gun. You'll love to see it.
Well, I just bought myself some time. I said, let's see what happens if it gets to 78. I consider that buying myself some time, and we'll come back to it after I've had a better look at it.
VVPR, pump and dump day. Oh, look. Gosh. This is what, sometimes when we look at some of these smaller stocks that are on the scanner and we end up getting movement like this really starts up that conversation. Why are you guys trading that garbage? Well, the reality is that some of that garbage, if you will do this, and hopefully your rules and procedures will protect you from it. But some of the quote unquote garbage gives you the moves like we saw here in AUUD or some other ones that we've seen recently. Even the CXAI?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's starting to move up.
This also
I literally was thinking about that too. Why are we literally talking about all these garbage stocks, literally Chinese EV names that maybe will have a difference? I don't know. I think today is interesting. I think we're just waiting for CPI, PPI this week, because that's the inflation data we get this week.
And as you said earlier, Nick, probably waiting for some of those earnings prints to start too, right? So here's the thing, guys, and this is not the first time that we've seen it. So let's say that these junkier stuff, garbage. I know we're using that term, but let's try and just understand what we're actually talking about. These lower price stocks that aren't like these popular quality companies that everyone knows. when the market seems to dry up for some of those bigger stocks, these seem to be the ones that are moving around. And as traders, we're always looking for that volatility. Nick, to your point, it looks like today, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it looks like today we didn't really get a whole lot of movement out of some of those bigger stocks. I mean, I guess the only one that really comes to mind here is going to be Tesla. I know Jay Rice was talking about the move down earlier in some of the tech names like SMCI and Nvidia. But other than, but by the way, some of these are getting bought back up here. But we didn't really have a whole lot of movement. Did I miss something? PLTR. This looks like this is moving higher here. PLTR.
No, we're just in this slump here. We're in this quiet period as companies can't really talk much about their earnings. I think they're saving a lot of news that they want to release just for the earnings report to see how their stock does. I mean, the only really big news we got, well, not really big, but Spirit Airlines today, guys. We heard from them that they are going to defer for Airbus deliveries and actually furlough 260 pilots to save cash. So it seems some airline companies
That doesn't sound good.
are looking to save cash. I mean, they're burning through a lot of fuel. They're burning through a lot of cash here. And it just raises the question, what is the summer months going to be? Are we have to see these long lines? Or are we going to have to wait an hour to 45 minutes, 2 hours to see if we can get a flight to somewhere? I mean, the worrying is there going to be enough pilots, let alone, are we going to have enough planes given the Boeing incident?
Yeah, good questions. I don't have answers for it. I sure hope not. I'm looking to do some traveling this summer. I don't want to worry about my plane or my pilot every time I get near an airport. To me, that seems like my heart and my hair probably don't want that. Say it, Ryan. Say it again for the people in the back. I repeat myself quite a bit. I don't know if I need to purposely repeat myself all the time, but we will. We'll keep doing that. By the way, AUUD curling back up here. Jay Rice saying, Ryan, here's a golf story I saw over the weekend. Player from Dartmouth shot an 84 on day one, second worst in the field. Next day shot a 61. Third day walked into tree and withdrew. Golf is hard. Okay, well, that actually makes me feel better because golf is hard. Man, that's all over the map. I don't know how I'd feel if I were him. Lion Atlas, regarding that PWP trade that we talked about earlier, looks like Lion Atlas defining this risk ahead of time, going the 1750 call expires in May. So you look like you're looking for about a month to move $2 to the upside here. AUUD above 5. Yep. 13, you're stalking this, aren't you? I can tell. You got that hunter look on you right now.
I traded a little bit just a second ago. It's
go.
just that I'm not a whole lot though. I'm just a little concerned with this one. It looks like it could get ready to go up to 6 again, but I'm just trying to be very, very careful because this one had massive pulls already, and I need to see it get above 540 again to feel comfortable. Otherwise, I think it's going lower.
Jay Summers just scalping AUUD left and right out here. You love to see that. Nick is keeping us logical, which is a good thing. Indeed. We will take that.
Looking for AXTI to try to break out of this bull flag that we've got here on the 5-minute. Probably see it on other time frames too.
Which ticker? I'm sorry.
AXTI.
AXTI. AUUD going higher here. Let's take a look at AXTI. Top end of the. Oh, I see what you're looking at here, 13. I see you.
A little bit more volume, and that thing's going over 4.
Yep. 4 breakout here, possible. 399, your intraday high print.
Yeah, otherwise, it's going to sink.
What's going on Sono here? Looks like a sell-off on volume. This moving down about 60 cents in the last, 6 minutes? Let me see if I can find anything here. Ticker SONO. I got nothing in the news feed so far. Anybody see anything on ticker SONO?
No, I was going to say the only thing I see is a volume drop.
Yeah, let me see if I don't have my squawk on. And I know Lynn and Randy are traveling. They're normally really good with the squawk assists, as I like to say. I don't think they're here today.
I'll tell you what. If you take a daily chart of SONO and you draw a line at 1765, you might be seeing a pretty key support level. Because if we break that, we're gap filling.
I saw something here from Citron, but it has nothing to do with Sono.
But anyway, looks like we're starting to get some slowdown here. Let me take a look and see what the broader market's telling us. Okay. So we're in SPY, we're kind of trading up in the area where we topped out in on Friday. So the target to the upside would be 21 even. And if we can't get up there, then I think that we're going to be going back to test 518.30.
Sorry, I'm just doing something here for work.
No worries. Looks like Life W found a bottom on that pullback. I'm not sure if it's going to, blast off again, but you might want to take a look and put it on your radar if you're interested in trading this. UCAR trying to get it back above VWAP. Looks like AUUD really wants to try to get get up there, but I'm just not sure. Volume is really kind of falling off with this.
So, okay, sorry about that. I'm back now. Couldn't find any news on Sono. Let me know if you guys figure any of that out. Here is AUUD to your point 13. Looks like this might be pulling back to the VWAP here.
What I was talking about with Sono is if you go to a daily chart and you draw a horizontal line at 1765, I think you'll be looking at a pretty key support level, and I think the price action kind of justifies that.
So we pretty much came into that. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, we came right back into that. This is the bottom of the island.
Yeah, because if that breaks, then you're going to get a gap fill.
Good call there. Sorry, I looked away at the wrong time.
No worries.
It's perfect though.
It looks like things are just kind of figuring out what they want to do right now.
Hey, you know what? At least we were able to capture some things this morning before this all happened. Sydney saying, Ryan, protect Cleo and the cat during the eclipse. They're going to be okay. They're going to be inside.
Why is it dark?
I will have my camera with me though. So if it looks noticeably different, like outside, I'll take a picture of that. But otherwise, I'm just expecting we've seen one of these before. CADL, this actually might be trading up here. Spot to watch here on CADL, probably 728. CADL. Looking around to see what else is out there moving. Don't really see much of anything. Banks kind of holding in here, but not really making any crazy move. DXYZ, guys. DXYZ. Going for those highs. This is still going back up.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Look, that's what happens here. Got about 18 minutes left. I think we got Trader Bacon coming up afterwards.
IDI, PLTR. AUUD still kind of just hanging above.
Down. Sorry, Jay's Life mentioning SOUN. Let me take a look here. We don't really have much moving. This came back to the VWAP. What's going on here, Jay?
None of these are looking really good to me at the moment. Looks like the SPY is starting to get weaker, but it might just be setting up to push higher. LGVN looks like it
SPY
wants to
up SPY up 0.25%. We really haven't done much of anything. Nope. This kind of goes back to our discussion about why we're talking about kind of the junkier stocks. Well, to be honest with you, I had better trading setups in those stocks. The only caveat that I could mention here are the stocks that Jay mentioned at the beginning: SMCI, NVIDIA. There was another TSM, I think, early on was sell off after it was higher in the pre-market. You know what's interesting about TSM? Oh, this is TS. Sorry, get the right ticker up here. TSM. Yeah, this actually went higher. This actually went higher here. TSM.
Yeah, when we look at the Mags 7s, you have pretty much most of them just being flat, except for Google and Tesla, and because they had news. Like Google had a news catalyst and a price upgrade, I believe. Tesla, we know the news there, and also buying more heavy buying after it had a sell off. So the two that are up right now, everything else is either flat or a little bit lower. So it's just are those rotations that I was seeing.
DXYZ popping here, new highs. DXYZ. Boy, I'm glad you guys brought this. Man, this Monday, this eclipse has really got me off. I'm glad you folks brought this up here this morning. This is not one that I had been watching. I might have to start looking at this every day. Sydney saying Becca is the Earth goddess, and Becca applauding. Oh, you guys are awesome. We do have the best community out there. It's just that is confirmed, by the way. Just confirmed here. CXAI looking good here. CADL being mentioned by Tuna. Well, are you kidding me? Here we go. CADL. Wisdom. Good God, what happened to my alarm clock? Too many gummies for Wisdom last night, probably. Slept right through his alarm.
It'd be nice to be that relaxed.
DJT still at the lows here.
Yeah, a lot of slow moving stuff right now.
Oh, good laughs with the crew today, though. Good laughs with the crew today. LIFW, by the way, after that big move back to the VWAP and gave it up here.
Yeah, it looks like the MACD is going to cross soon, so it might be on Life W support.
GPN kind of just hanging out. AUUD still sideways.
Sideways above the VWAP, though. That's good to see.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to choose a direction here at some point soon.
LGVN pulling back a little bit. Becca thinks all three of us are wonderful, you guys. So Nick, 13, you guys are wonderful.
Well, we think you're a wonderful chat guest here to have with us.
Indeed. Yellen saying, quote, I think we can feel great about our economy, end quote. So for those of you that are contrarian players, that is your short signal.
She's over in China for the weekend. There was a lot of talk regarding her visit to China. I mean, the hashtags on X were hilarious, I believe.
I mean, is it net bad, net good, kind of a mixture of both? How would you summarize it? I didn't see any of that.
I think what she basically has been doing, and she's actually done a great job, is reiterating our views regarding the tariffs, regarding the chips, regarding the exports. So nothing too alarming. Nothing really has changed.
Okay.
So Sarah Eisen completed an interview with her over the weekend as Yellen has been meeting, but the reaction from X people, I think at one point there was like a Yellen in a hashtag Yellen is in a Chinese restaurant or is in China reached like 8 was.
Well, wasn't there some news report that she ate magic mushrooms the last time she went there?
I don't ever think that was confirmed.
AUUD 13. Let me bring it up here while we're discussing.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
No, it's totally fine.
And no, Crow, I haven't seen that yet. Looks like there's a request to get Becca on the stream. She's down.
We've opened this before to chat members. If you want to come on, shoot me an email. I'll throw my email here in the chat just in case. That should all have it by now, but can't hurt. But throwing it in here, we can go ahead and do that. I know Becca has morning obligations, so let's not get on her too much if she can't make that. I know everyone's got a life outside of their trader personality here. By the way, Sarah Eisen that Nick was mentioning was actually just on CNBC summarizing that. So I have it on mute, but I did just see her.
What are we going to get here in the next 10 minutes? What do you think?
Oh, that's a good question, 13. I don't know. Is it cold in China right now? Looks like it.
Well, it's a pretty big country, so there might be parts that
Beijing I guess is where they're televising from. I was just thinking out loud. It's not important. I mean, say again, Nick. Sorry.
57 in Beijing right now.
37.
57.
Oh, 57. Okay. Then I don't understand the coat Sarah Eisen is wearing, although it does match her hair.
CXAI is getting a push there up to.
Ooh, this is up to the day highs here too. 13. Yeah. Good shout there.
Yeah.
Seahorse is on it.
Yeah, he's so on it that he put the A in front of the S. No, but I got you, man. You're on that. Man, I've had that happen so many times. You're trying to get something typed out so fast you mistype it. That should be one of the intros. Have you ever typed something so fast that you completely butchered the spelling?
Yeah, definitely. You know, my big thing is I add, I think, W's and Y's to words that I don't mean to because it's close to E and T. And I use those letters so frequently that I am accidentally pressing the W and the Y key at a disproportionate amount.
Have you ever been typing and you misspelled a word and you look to see if the letter was close to, the part of the word you got wrong and they're so far apart, you're like, why did I even type that?
Yeah, but most of the time when that happens, it's autocorrect that's getting me. Like I'll type in
ducking autocorrect.
A lot of them are dirty though. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go down that road. That's just going to get me in trouble. Every day 13. Let's go. CXAI, I had to move fast on CXAI. Well, it looks like you're right up. Here we go. This is it. Are we going to get the high break here? A little bit of size, by the way, at 588 intraday high here, 581 CXAI.
And CADL could be coming up soon too.
Now,
volume.
Tuna mentioned that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just kind of bringing it back because I'm keeping an eye on these things that they're mentioning too.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the 3 setups that we had earlier.
Autocorrect kills relationships.
It does, dude. It does. It can anyway.
I shouldn't laugh. I just haven't had that happen to me, but I shouldn't laugh.
Agreed. Don't trust Mrs. Temporary Inflation. Yeah, inflation is transitory. How did that go?
It's a dirty word in trading now.
Yeah, Kevin. Tax time always never a good time. Never a good time. I actually took a loss last year that was helping me for tax time this year. But yeah, definitely seemed like they were higher. Definitely seems like I get less of my own money. Misspell a ticker and stumble on a winner. I'll tell you what, the day that happens will be a memorable day.
Even Bob Ross would be calling that a happy little accident.
No taxes here, Kevin. They're truly voluntary if you know how to work the system, just like the 1%. Man, wisdom. What would we do without your sass on a daily basis? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we managed pretty well today.
But until
now it's getting better.
We managed pretty well today. 13. You're just on it.
Look at Piton, not PTN, but PTON. It went all the way up to 380, got rejected, came down to 368. Now it's trying 380 again. This thing has been pretty good for trading, just slow moving.
Oh, Carmen, I don't have an answer for you. How about that? Being a U.S. citizen, you have to pay taxes even if you don't work in the U.S. So my buddy that's got dual citizenship in London has that issue. has that very issue. Guys, my scanner has even dried up. The only two things that I'm seeing on the scanner here that are of note, AUUD, which we're kind of all watching, and then UCAR, which we were watching earlier. This still hovering beneath its VWAP. PTN, the other stock on there, I don't know. Maybe this crosses the VWAP here. IMPP, another one that was on there. This is, a former penny oil play here. I guess this is moving up here. SMTC just flashed on here. Semtech. We mentioned this last week. This has continued to go here. Semtech, SMTC.
Is there a news headline that we're all waiting for? Not this week. I know there's some this week, but like today. Is there something we're waiting for today? Is that why the market's kind of like so tired?
Dude, I think we've already covered it. It's got to be the eclipse.
Okay,
gotta be the eclipse, dude.
That must be the only thing.
At this point, I'm just saying things just to. That's just how it goes.
I said it too. I just wondering if there's anything else that we have missed, because if this slowdown is just on the eclipse, then it's a little bit surprising.
One thing to mention here, we might as well. We've talked about this one recently. I'm still kind of watching this, so we might as well shout it out here. We were talking about watching ticker ACN. This is Accenture for a potential swing to the long side here. We did have a nice little bounce off the 200 day. That gave us a nice little clean bounce for a trade here, but now we're starting to consolidate above it. Want to see that we close above this. We actually had one close beneath it and sandwiched by closes that were pretty much right on it. I want to see here a green close. If it looks like we're getting a little bit of if it looks like this candle is going to end up closing green here, I might try a small starter for a potential long side swing, ticker ACN. Currently have no position here. Would love to see this trade back up to the upside. Definitely watching the chart and where we're at here.
Yeah, this is looking like it. I might have gotten that trade underneath the 200 in order for me to, be more bullish on this. Now that we're back over the 200, I'm, just going to be watching it. I'm not sure if this is the upside move yet. I would like to see it under 330, but I didn't get that. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. If we start to move up and away from the 200, then I think that bottom might have been in.
There you go. And the other thing is, we'll see if the eclipse throws monkey wrench into this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm the worst, obviously. But anyway, that is what's going on with Accenture here. Was there? Oh, you know what? There was another stock that I guess we wanted. Lion Atlas mentioning Freeport McMoran, ticker FCX here. This has been a great one. All right, this has been a great move here. This actually looking like we might try to break out of this double top for some new all-time highs here. Ticker FCX. Now, I have no position on this one here. I would like to get this. Let me know any eclipse breakups today. Smoke tuna, probably.
UCAR is trying to get above VWAP. If the volume expands, it's probably going to have a good shot at 750.
By the way, I know I'm going to go to UCAR here next, 13. CCJ, I know we've talked about this one recently. This tested that 50 level, kind of taking a break here. Watch for this to kind of settle. I think we make another run here at 50. Jay, shout out to you. You've been all over this one. All right, let's go. Oops, that was the wrong one. Let's go back to trade the pool here. You wanted UCAR. Let's take a look.
It was trying to get through VWAP. It's kind of going back and forth a bit. Need to see that VWAP break and close.
Folks, in about 3 minutes, we are going to wrap it up here. It's actually been a decent Monday. I know the market's kind of slowing down here. Shout out to the entire chat and group for getting some trades under our belt prior to that slowdown. You can do this every day, folks. You can do this every single day. It's tools like Benzinga Pro, frankly, that make it easier for us to kind of find things. 13, we jumped down the pre-show fist fight here today, and we were talking about what are we looking for. It doesn't really seem like a whole lot. We had catalysts for different things, levels for different things. All of that preparation made easier by Benzinga Pro. Here we go. Looks like it's time to just enjoy the eclipse for the rest of the day as the market really kind of slowing down.
Market Sniper was mentioning CADL. It does look like it's starting to get going. Just want to see that volume expand some more.
And by the way, Jay, appreciate this. I missed this one. I'm normally watching that options calendar. Great assist here, Jay. On CCJ, they bought a bunch of April calls this morning on that dip. So that would actually strengthen our thesis on a move back to 50.
Here we go with CADL.
Let's take a look here at CADL. Oh, yeah, right back up to those highs.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close. 777. That's the intraday high to break. Looking not bad. And then we get that pop, and then it kind of slows down. Let's see if I can get up to 777, or well, it's going to pull. I guess
Guys, we just got some news from Paramount Plus. We are being told that Paramount Pictures has won the dismissal of a lawsuit claiming its 2022 Tom Cruise blockbuster Top Gun Maverick borrowed too much from a 1983 magazine article that inspired the original Top Gun film. There was a decision on Friday by U.S. District Judge Percy Anderson saying that the sequel was not substantially similar. And so Paramount Plus, this article literally just hit the Reuters wire. But when that did, Paramount is now trading lower by like 5.47%. It was on a tick up. But as soon as that article hit, it is trending a little bit lower. So just wanted to bring that to you.
Yeah, that's weak here out of the gate. Okay, it is 11. We're going to be out of here for today. I will say, I know it was a little bit slower here today, but really good stuff from all of you. Not just you two, not just Nick and 13. You guys did a great job here today, but so too did the chat. You folks absolutely killed it here today. Awesome stuff. Nick, thanks for joining us. Can't wait to have you back as your schedule allows. Keep in touch. I'll have you on anytime, my man. We really appreciate you. 13, great to see you. We're going to send you over to Trader Bacon. Take care, everybody.